All right, so let's now turn to the myths of Agni, who's both the god of the fire and the fire itself, especially in the context of this ancient Vedic sacrificial ritual. Because he's the Vedic fire, Agni is seen as a kind of mediator between heaven and earth. He's called the Hotar priest for the gods. When he takes on this role, he gets the nickname Jata Vedas, which means the one who knows or possesses all creation. The Hotar, remember, is the priest in charge of the Rig Veda recitation at the Vedic sacrifice, which means that the Rig Veda poets and the priests are identifying themselves as being Agni, in the same way that the ruler, the king or warriors, were directly identified with Indra that we saw in the previous segment. The very first mantra of the Rig Veda is dedicated to Agni, and here we can already see what I'm talking about in terms of the equivalence between the priests and Agni. Agni do I invoke, the one placed to the fore, god and priest of the sacrifice. The Hotar, being most richly conferring treasure. Agni to be invoked by ancient sages and present ones. He will carry the gods here to this place. Agni has many other roles and appearances as well besides this offertorial fire. One that I also wanted to kind of draw your attention to is his role as in the crematorial fire during the funeral. In one of the few funerary hymns in the Rig Veda, 10.16.2, Agni is addressed as follows, and it's kind of a macabre moment maybe. When you will make him cooked to readiness, Jata Vedas, then deliver him to the forefathers. When he will embark on the way leading to the other life, then he will lead at the will of the gods. So Agni doesn't just take food and soma up to the gods, he also takes our dearly departed to the world of the ancestors, where they get to dwell and await our offerings. As far as the myths of Agni are concerned, there aren't actually too many distinct stories about him floating around in the Rig Veda. Agni is mostly present and does his sort of blue-collar duties as the delivery guy. But there is one fascinating myth where Agni gets a bit unhappy with his work, with the job he's forced to do, and so he goes into hiding. It's maybe I feel like it's the earliest expression of labor rights in the ancient world, and it's probably the only case where a god goes on strike. Story can be summarized in the following way. Agni hides in the water because he's stressed about the menial job that he has to do in the Vedic sacrifice, while all the other gods don't even have to attend the ritual. Once Agni disappears, though, the other gods go in search of him, try to persuade him to come back. He eventually agrees when the gods grant him an exclusive right to having part of the Vedic sacrificial offerings. He gets like a good cut. That's the story, basically, and here it is in fragmentary form as captured in two hymns in the Rig Veda, 1051 and 1052. It's voiced in the form of a dialogue, which is also an interesting thing, between the gods and Agni when they finally find him hiding in the waters. The gods are the ones who start the conversation. Great was that call, and sturdy it was, enveloped, in which you entered the waters. All your bodies in their multiple forms, O Agni Jata Vedas, did a single god see. Agni then replies, Who saw me? Which one was that god who fully saw my bodies in their multiple forms? Where indeed, O Mitra and Varuna, are all the kindling sticks of Agni lying, which lead to the gods? The gods then reply, We sought you in multiple places, O Jata Vedas, you who had entered the waters into the plants, O Agni. Yama spied you, O bright-beamed one, shining out farther than the distance of 10 stages. Agni says, I went in fear of the Hotarship, Varuna, lest the gods yoke me to it. My body settled down in multiple places. I, Agni, do not attend to this business. Basically, he's saying here that he's sick of this job. He's sick of being the Hotar, the priest who has to do all the heavy work, right, of delivering the offerings, and he quits. Notice here he also appeals directly to Varuna, the god of law and social contracts. The gods then make a kind of negotiation. Come here, they say to him. Manu, devoted to the gods, has a desire for sacrifice, having properly prepared it. Yet you dwell in darkness, Agni. Make the paths leading to the gods easily passable. Convey the oblations, showing your benevolence. Agni then says the brothers of Agni earlier kept rolling along after this business, like a charioteer along the road. In fear of this, Varuna, I went far away. I flinched from it like a buffalo from the bowstring of an archer. The gods reply, we will make a lifetime for you which is free from old age, Agni, so that yoked to your task, you will not suffer harm, O Jatavedas. Then will you, showing your benevolence, convey their portion of the oblation to the gods, O well-born one? So even though here they've offered him immortality, Agni then makes a counteroffer. You should always make a counteroffer when you're negotiating, right? Give the fore offerings and the after offerings exclusively to me, the nourishing part of that oblation, and the ghee of the waters, and the man of the plants. Let there be a long lifetime for Agni, O gods. So gods agree to the deal. Yours will be the fore offering and the after offerings exclusively, the nourishing portions of the oblation. Yours, Agni, will be this whole sacrifice. To you let the four quarters, the four directions, bow. In the next hymn, our story kind of keeps going along. Agni says to the gods, all you gods, instruct me how, chosen here as the Hotar, I shall conceive the task upon being installed. Proclaim to me how, by what path, I shall convey your share, your oblation to you. I have sat down as the better sacrificing Hotar. All the gods, the Maruts, spur me on. Every day, O Ashwins, the Advaryuship is yours. He's here making an appeal to the other workhorses in the Vedic pantheon, I think, these two Ashwins. The kindling sticks become the formulator. This is the poured offering for you too. Not really sure what the formulator here is referring to. I think it's a specific kind of mantra that's being chanted. Now the sacrificer is talking, right, in the hymn. This one here, who is the Hotar, meaning Agni, who is he to Yama? Who am I calling upon when the gods anoint him? They put it, this being a kind of existential question here is being posed to Agni, I suppose. Agni, who are you exactly? Now Agni replies, the gods have installed me as a conveyor of the oblation. I who had slipped away, undergoing many troubles. Agni, the knowing one, will arrange the sacrifice for us, with its 5 courses, 3 turns, 7 threads. Through sacrifice I will win you immortality, rich in heroes, so that I can make wide space for you, O gods. Might I place the mace in Indra's arms? Then he will win all these battles. The poet then is going to close now the hymn in a kind of fascinating way. 303,039 gods revered Agni. They sprinkled him with ghee. They strewed the ritual grass for him. Just after that, they installed him as Hotar. So as you can see, there's a lot of sort of occupational anxieties going on in these hymns. If Agni stands for the Rigveda priests, maybe we can read this as a kind of reflection, an anxiety about whether priests are getting adequate prestige and security for the work that they do. The hymn, because it's built on the certain truth value, then would bring into being this prestige and financial security, where it ends with Agni being installed himself as the Hotar.